Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but like I say, he's weight classes for a reason.
No, it's business. It's the office. I enjoy it because this is what I love to do.
Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter.
I understand, Canelo is bigger than me and whatnot, but I'm up for the challenge.
Canelo Alvarez has responded to Terence Crawford's new training footage. Crawford is ramping up his training regimen for a potential clash with Canelo, incorporating strength and conditioning exercises like weightlifting and resistance training to boost power and endurance. He's also sharpening his punching technique through mitt work and heavy bag sessions to improve speed and accuracy. Arab Sheikh Turki Al-Sheikh, a passionate boxing enthusiast, has vowed to deliver several world-class fights by 2025. Among them, the most anticipated could be the long-awaited showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, potentially scheduled for September. According to Boxing News Online, both fighters privately met in London last week outside of Al-Sheikh's knowledge and reportedly began discussing terms for the highly anticipated bout. ESPN reported that the fight is being targeted for Mexico's Independence Day weekend in mid-September, to be held in Las Vegas with a 168 pounds weight limit and no rehydration clause. ESPN boxing insider Mike Coppinger stated, "From what I'm told, they're in the process of finalizing a deal for a fight in September." However, a major obstacle remains. Crawford would need to gain 14 pounds to meet the weight class of the Mexican star. Canelo has steadily climbed through weight divisions, starting at super welterweight where he claimed the WBC world title, later becoming the unified middleweight champion at 160 pounds. He briefly moved up to light heavyweight to defeat Sergey Kovalev for the IBF title before settling at super middleweight, where he became the first undisputed four-belt champion. Since 2016, Canelo's fights rarely go to the scorecards. For Crawford, facing Canelo would mean jumping 2 full weight classes. Canelo has voiced concerns about the matchup, highlighting the importance of weight divisions, stating, "There are weight classes for a reason." This comment reflects his belief that Crawford's best performances come at 147 pounds. Although Crawford recently captured a world title at 154 pounds by defeating Israil Madrimov, Canelo feels that jumping to 168 pounds would be a substantial leap, potentially putting Crawford at a disadvantage due to the size and power difference. His stance reinforces the long-standing boxing principle that weight classes exist to ensure fairness and protect fighters' safety.
Saturday, but do you feel like a fight like Terence Crawford? I see he wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better, no? Terence Crawford is a great fighter, he's a good fighter, but like I say, he's weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and then you never know what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Canelo Alvarez has called out Terence Crawford's record, claiming it's padded and lacks elite-level opponents. He argued that throughout Crawford's 17-year career, he hasn't consistently faced A-level competition. According to Canelo, Crawford's most significant win came against a depleted, weight-drained version of Errol Spence, who was never the same after his 2019 car crash. Speaking to TMZ Sports, Canelo criticized the praise Crawford receives, suggesting it's a result of strategic matchmaking by promoters in today's era. While acknowledging Crawford's talent, Canelo emphasized that he has only one major victory and hasn't faced other top-tier fighters. He added that Crawford has always been the favorite going into his fights, not because of dominance, but due to avoiding true 50-50 matchups.
Are you tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say, I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. he did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look very easy. But I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But you never know in boxing. We'll see.
Canelo recently commented on Terence Crawford's career, prompting a sharp response from Crawford on X. LOL, that's crazy. So every fighter I fought is not good but one? Noted. Just remember what you said because I've always taken pride in making somebody look like nobody. Critics of Crawford argue that he's been carefully matched against B-level opponents to protect his undefeated record, avoiding top-tier fighters like Jaron Ennis, Bakram Murtazaliev, and Virgil Ortiz Jr. Some also believe Crawford should move up to 168 pounds to face contenders like David Benavidez or David Morrell to truly earn a shot at Canelo. However, Crawford remains confident in his accomplishments, rejecting claims that his resume is weak or padded, and continues to assert his dominance in the sport. Canelo, for his part, has acknowledged the high demand among fighters to face him, stating, "Everyone wants to fight with me, so it's fine. If a fight makes sense, then why not?" Though Canelo was initially reluctant to face Crawford, citing the lack of credit for beating a smaller opponent, his stance has since shifted. Recently, Canelo met with boxing power broker Turki Alalshik in London to discuss a potential bout with Crawford. If finalized, Crawford would move up to super middleweight, a significant jump that many believe could pose a serious challenge. Two-weight world champion Teofimo Lopez, who has trained with Canelo under coach Eddie Reynoso, is among those who feel the size difference could be too much for Crawford. Despite these concerns, the potential matchup has stirred considerable excitement among boxing fans and analysts alike.
He can beat you at this weight?
No, everybody wants to fight with me, so it's fine.
That being a biggest fight possible in boxing, is that something you'd actually be interested in?
It's crazy when you asking about that because you say, your matchup is coming out with other weight classes and and he's welterweight, so don't make sense. But if the fight made sense, why not?
A lot of people have him at number one pound for pound. You think that's fair to you?
It's a few people there who deserve the number one pound per pound, and it's fine.
Canelo has voiced confidence about a potential fight with Terence Crawford, stating, "Easy money. If the money is right, I'm in," while admitting he doesn't enjoy fighting opponents like Crawford, who rely heavily on movement, calling such fights boring. This reflects Canelo's view that Crawford's elusive style doesn't match his preferred type of opponent. Despite this, talks of a showdown between the two champions have advanced, with reports indicating an agreement has been reached for a fight in Las Vegas in September 2025. The potential bout has sparked major interest in the boxing world. Following his win over Edgar Berlanga, Canelo addressed the possibility of facing the undefeated Crawford, saying, "Anything is possible," and emphasized the need for favorable terms for such a high-stakes matchup. In a recent update, reports emerged that both fighters held promising talks with Saudi boxing chief Turki Alalshik to arrange the bout. While both sides have reportedly agreed to a September fight in Las Vegas, Canelo has made it clear that his focus remains on current obligations and that he's open to the matchup once those are fulfilled.
We'll see, but always is a chance there, and we're here to make the best deals, and always a chance.
And I do have to ask you about Dimitri Bivol, because that's a rematch you've always talked about wanting. How do you see the rematch going with Bivol and Beterbiev?
I think it's going to be another good fight. It's going to be another good fight. Both fighters are good fighters, so I think both have a chance to win. Like the previous one was a really good fight.
So whatever is next, we look forward to it, my friend. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
Canelo is expected to be a major part of the Riyadh series following recent discussions about a potential mega fight with Terence Crawford. The event, set to take place in Saudi Arabia, aims to showcase world-class boxing talent, with both fighters reportedly agreeing to a bout in September 2025. The highly anticipated showdown is a key highlight of the Riyadh series. Saudi advisor Turki Alalshik has been eager to bring major boxing events to the region, offering over $200 million to secure Canelo's participation. In an interview during the opening of El Pastor del Rey in San Diego, Canelo stated, "I never say no to business," expressing his openness to negotiations if the deal is right. He revealed that 80% of the profits from his fights, including ticket sales, go directly to him. Canelo added that he takes these risks knowing the financial rewards are substantial.
Saul, my carnal, how are you? Quick question. I know, as we walk, how important is it that you've spoke with Turki Alalshik?
Say again, please.
How important for you is it that you've spoke to Turki Al Sheikh, and what did you speak about?
Look, I like to work with everybody. You know, I'm a free agent, and I like to work with everybody. And you know, I like to have the doors open.
Are we going to see Canelo Crawford next?
We'll see. It's a possibility there always. No, we'll see what happens.
Have you spoke with Turki about that show?
Yeah,
about Canelo?
We know each other. We don't talk that much for make a deal and anything, but you know, we now know each other, and we'll see what happens.
Last one, I know you're pushed for time. Benavidez Morel, who wins?
It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight. 50-50 fight.
Canelo, thank
In a recent interview, Mikey Garcia shared his thoughts on a potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Garcia praised Crawford as one of the most skilled fighters he has ever seen and recalled a conversation where he acknowledged Crawford's accomplishments and the lack of recognition he receives due to politics and favoritism in boxing. Despite Crawford's talent, Garcia pointed to the significant size difference between the two as a key factor. He noted that Canelo fights at 168 pounds, while Crawford only recently moved up to 154 pounds and has faced challenges at that weight. Garcia expressed doubt that Canelo would go below 166 pounds and believes the size and power advantage would favor Canelo, even though Crawford is technically superior. Ultimately, Garcia said he isn't in favor of the matchup, emphasizing that Crawford has already secured his legacy by achieving greatness across multiple weight classes. Meanwhile, veteran boxing analyst Dan Rafael weighed in on the potential bout, noting that Canelo is a savvy businessman and would be motivated by the massive financial incentive such a fight would bring. Rafael believes the matchup could become one of the biggest events in boxing history, attracting enormous attention and generating major revenue. He highlighted that both fighters are at the peak of their careers, making this potential clash one of the sport's most anticipated showdowns.
I read somewhere that Canelo has shortlisted Crawford for the May fight, his fight in May. Dan, what's happening?
Listen, I think it's just a fluid situation. I don't think there's anything definitive one way or the other at this point. I mean, it's not a secret that that's a fight that's been discussed by a lot of us and by a lot of people in the sport for quite a while. Certainly, it's a fight that Turki Al Sheikh from Saudi Arabia has shown a lot of interest in. And of course, if it's going to get made, someone's going to have to put up a lot of guaranteed money. And he's probably the person that's going to do it. He's obviously been working closely with Terence Crawford. He was involved with Terence Crawford's last fight that took place in August when he fought Israel Madrimov. It's obviously a fight that Terence Crawford has been very vocal about wanting. Now, Canelo hasn't ever said he wanted the fight, kind of downplayed it to a certain degree. But it wasn't that long ago. I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago, he was doing an appearance and he was asked about it and he didn't close the door on it. In the past, he sort of like closed the door on it and was like, I'm not interested. He's like, listen, I'll talk to anybody and listen to what they have to say about the deal, any kind of deal. So in my mind, that sort of at least cracked open the door to have the conversation. Like he wasn't just saying, forget it, in terms of working with Turki or anybody else. So I think that Canelo is a smart person in terms of his boxing, but also in terms of his business. And when he looks around at the landscape and he wants to make a huge amount of money, like all top fighters or any fighter for that matter, and he looks and sees who can I fight where I can make the biggest score, you know, in a big time fight.
Ryan Garcia has voiced strong confidence in a potential showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, predicting that Canelo's size and power would give him the edge. His view aligns with recent reports suggesting that negotiations for the fight are nearly complete, with a target date set for September 2025 in Las Vegas. The bout is expected to take place at 168 pounds, with Crawford moving up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo for his unified super middleweight titles. The fight is expected to be a major commercial event, drawing global attention from boxing fans. Terence Crawford has also expressed excitement about the potential matchup, calling it the biggest fight in boxing. He has long sought this opportunity, acknowledging its worldwide appeal. While Crawford admits that Canelo holds a significant size advantage, saying, "Canelo is bigger than me," he remains confident in his skills and is eager to take on the challenge. With the bout reportedly close to being finalized, anticipation continues to build for what could be one of the most high-profile fights in recent years.
Guys, we know the fighters know the intel before the news gets released to the public. King Ryan was asked about Canelo Crawford. He not only says he can't believe they got that fight done, meaning that that's a done deal. We obviously knew that, but he also gives you who he thinks wins that fight, Canelo or Crawford. Do you agree with Ryan Garcia?
fight.
What about Canelo and Crawford? What do you think?
That's gonna be a great fight too. I can't believe they made that happen. See, Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo is so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight class doesn't matter for a reason.
Stephen A. Smith recently shared his thoughts on a potential matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, emphasizing the intrigue surrounding the fight. Initially, Smith leaned toward Crawford, praising his exceptional boxing skills and ability to outclass opponents. However, he raised concerns about Crawford's ability to hurt Canelo, a physically imposing fighter known for his power. Smith highlighted Canelo's relentless pressure and heavy punches, which have historically overwhelmed opponents who couldn't keep him at bay. While acknowledging Crawford's technical superiority, he questioned whether Crawford could withstand or evade Canelo's power over the course of a full fight. In the end, Smith described the matchup as compelling, with Crawford's skill and strategy facing their toughest test yet against a dominant force like Canelo.
Speaking of Canelo, it looks very possible he'll fight Crawford in May. What would you think of that matchup, Canelo and Crawford?
You know what, I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is. As seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. He's phenomenal. But Crawford is something special. I think that he's a better pure boxer. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. My concern is that he won't hurt Canelo. And if he doesn't hurt Canelo and can't hurt Canelo, then Canelo keeps coming. Similar to how he stalked Charlo, how he stalked, once he had Plant hurt, he chased after him. Canelo is a very powerful individual who can get exposed by a boxer because every shot he throws, he's trying to make it a power shot. But to me, can Crawford hurt him? I would pick Crawford to win if he can box and stay away. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. And if Canelo catches him, it could be trouble. But I would still say it would be a very interesting fight. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. And I'm wondering whether he could stay away. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer.
Crawford's fight with Julius Indongo showed that facing him may not be as easy or one-sided as some might assume. Early in the bout, Crawford faced challenges but ultimately displayed his strength and resilience. His willingness to fight through adversity and his drive to win are key elements of his success. He carries a chip on his shoulder and consistently steps up when the pressure is on. In close rounds and tough moments, he rises to the occasion, showcasing his dedication and championship mentality. However, the primary concern surrounding a potential fight with Canelo remains the weight difference. Regardless of personal opinions or speculation, the disparity in size is a significant issue that cannot be ignored.
When Crawford fought Madrimov, he had his hands full, especially early in the fight. Now, I give props to Crawford because Crawford is the type of fighter where he does have like a chip on his shoulder and a willingness to win. He has drive, and if you tell him step it up, the rounds are too close, you're going to get a dedicated Crawford. So he is a true fighter, a true champion, all that. The biggest gripe I have with the fight is the weight. You guys could try to spin it and say I hate this guy or that guy. I don't really care. What do I look like being a true alpha and being bothered by what people say? I don't care. I'm telling you my opinion, and my opinion is not going to change because I know you guys can't change it. I've said the same thing, and not one time have I heard one of the Bud Buddies offer a solution to the arguments that I've brought up. Crawford is good, but so is Canelo. If they were naturally the same size, which they're not, Crawford is probably maybe a little bit taller, but I'm talking about mass.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned and catch you next time.